Hi everyone, and welcome back to Taruka. Today I'll show you how to use the recurring feature in the Taruka system. The recurring feature allows you to send invoice automatically based on the date and frequency that you set. For example, if you have a regular customer who purchases your products or services every month, you can use this feature to automatically generate and send an invoice to them each month. So first thing we need to do is log into our account. Once we log in, go to the menu on the left and click recurring. Once you're on the dashboard, click create recurring at the top right corner. Now we can enter all the information needed to set up our recurring invoice. First, we can enter a name for the recurring invoice or template. Next is the client information section. If the customer's information has already been saved in Taruka, you can simply search for and select the customer. If the customer hasn't been saved, you can enter their information manually by clicking the option provided. Next, we have the schedule setting. Here you can choose whether you want the first invoice to be sent immediately or you can select a future date for the recurring invoice to start. If you choose a future date, Taruka will begin generating and sending the recurring invoices based on the schedule you've set. Next, we can set the invoice date and time. You can also choose the frequency of the recurring invoice. For example, you can set it to repeat weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. You can also set an expire date for the recurring schedule if you only want the invoice to be generated for a specific period. If you want the invoice to be sent via email, you can enable the email option. Once enabled, you will see the email content that will be sent to your customer. You can choose between Bahasa Melayu and English, and you can also customize the email subject and email body. You can personalize the message for your customers, or you can simply use a generic email template. Next, we can add the product or services that we want to include in the recurring invoice. If you already saved the product or service in Taruka, you can search for it and select it. Alternatively, you can enter the product or service manually. If you're adding the items manually, you can add 1 item, 2 items, 3 items, or as many items as needed. You can also add any additional notes at the bottom if there's any other information you want to include in the invoice. Moving to the top right, we have the currency settings. If your business operates in Malaysia and uses Malaysian Ringgit, simply select Malaysian Ringgit. Below that, we have the SST settings. You can configure the SST according to your business requirements. You can also choose the PDF language, either Bahasa Melayu or English. Once you have completed all the settings, you can click Create Recurring. If you want to check everything first, you can click Preview. And if you decide not to continue, you can simply click Cancel. Now let's take a look at an example of recurring invoice that I've already created. Here you can see the customer's name and email address. The recurring frequency is set to monthly. For example, the invoice will be generated and sent on the 8th of every month. So far, more than 5 invoices have already been generated using this recurring schedule. You can also see the additional notes that I've added. In this example, I've set the invoices due date to 7 days, meaning the customer needs to make the payment within 7 days of receiving the invoice. If you want to manage an existing recurring invoice, simply click the 3-dot menu on the right. From here, you can view, edit, download, or preview the recurring invoice. The preview option will allow you to see what the actual invoice sent to the customer will look like. The view option, on the other hand, allows you to see the details of the recurring setup itself. And that's it. This is a quick demonstration on how to use the recurring feature in Taruka. If you have any questions or encounter any issues, you can go to our support ticket section to get assistance from our team. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.